Hi, today I'm going to be going over what I'm working on with my son Tyler. He's a little over 3.5 years old, and this is how I'm helping him in terms of his reading and writing skills. So he has a really good understanding of the basic alphabetic code as well as most of the advanced alphabetic code. So he's got a really solid understanding of a range of digraphs, so two-letter sounds like AY, and trigraphs, so three-letter sounds like IGH or AIR, saying air. He's got a really good understanding of a range of these. So the main focus for him at the moment is trying to get him to practice reading these in context. So reading them in sentences or in little decodable books. So I have a range of special books that kids use when they are learning to read. They're called decodables. They're written in a specific way so that they contain only words that the children can actually read themselves. And it's based on the level of code they've been taught. So I'm using some decodables with him and we're practicing reading those together. I do use some easier decodables from time to time to help build his reading fluency. So he's practicing ones that are quite simple. That's really helping for his confidence. And then we do ones that are related to the ones that those sounds that are more newer for him, so he can practice those. Usually we take a turn, we do a page each to just try and get through those. Currently his reading sounds a little bit like this. Mary's
pet is the best pet yet.
Good job. You know the rules, says Teacher Ted.
No pets inside till they've been fed.
Good job. I'm also doing some practice at the sentence level, so I'll write him sentences that contain words that have that code knowledge that he's practicing, and I'll make them a bit fun, write them about whatever we're doing that day and get him to practice those. So these are really short, sharp little sessions, but they're quite fun for him and they're just really getting him to practice that reading fluency. At the same time, I'm doing a lot of revision with him of the digraphs and trigraphs that I have taught him. So we do little games where he's trying to identify those just to help keep those fresh in his mind. Usually I'll have a little game where I'll write them all out on a whiteboard and I'll get him to try and find a particular digraph before I do. And I give him a little countdown and say, find, air, ready, set, go. And then he'll have to find it and he'll rub it out or I'll rub it out before him, and a little bit of a game there. So just trying to make that really fun for him, but at the same time just trying to get him to recall all of those digraphs, so that all those digraphs and trigraphs, so when he sees them in words, he's able to really quickly identify what that sound should say. At the same time as all of this, I'm still reading to him a lot. We read every day, multiple times a day, reading books that he's really interested in about things that he likes. Superheroes is a big thing at the moment. I'm trying to read books that he really enjoys. So the purpose of this is to help him hear what fluent reading should sound like. I'm modeling it for him all the time. So as he's trying to develop his own reading fluency, he's hearing what fluent reading is sounding like so that he can keep building towards that. At the same time, reading to him is helping to build his vocabulary. So when there's words that come up in a story, he'll identify ones, well, what does that mean? Or if I think there's a word in there that's quite interesting that I think he can use and he can understand, I'll point it out and I'll say, oh, that's an interesting word. That one means this. And, try and bring it up at different points of the day just to sort of remind him. Recently, we looked at the word silent. It said, an owl has silent flight. And we were looking at what that meant. And then, at different times of the day, I'm saying, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to be silent when we're doing this, and just really trying to reinforce what that word meant. And so then now he has that word as part of his vocabulary. So really try and choose those words from a text that are really interesting and teach them what they mean to build their vocabulary that way. The final thing that I'm working on with Tyler is his writing. So he's really led the charge with this. I truly have mainly been focusing on reading, but he's really decided that he wants to start writing. He's been trying to write his name for ages, and he's really shown such an interest in this, and I've been working with him a lot on his letter formation so that he can form those letters correctly. And we're working on things like writing in a relatively straight line, taking spaces between words. He wants to write when there's a real purpose for it. So that if there's a birthday, we need to write a birthday card. He wants to do it, and he wants to write the cutest little things, and I'll help him with that. He also might want to write a sign. He decided he wanted to write a sign to keep Chloe away from his toys. So he said no peeking, and he wrote this on a piece of paper. He's writing for a purpose, and he's building that understanding of how to form all of the letters, and I'm helping him along on that journey. So that's what I'm working on with Tyler at the moment. If you hit subscribe, you'll be able to hear about more of his journey as it comes.